We will begin with questions and start with Donald Wine.
Thank you, and hey guys, good to see you. Haji, hopefully you didn't have to fly in from the airport on short notice to get there like you did back in March. But wanted to talk to you about the end of the season at Coventry. Give me your thoughts on making it all the way to the final and how unfortunately it ended up short for you.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was a good run in the cup. I think we had some favorable draws, and we were able to get some tough wins against Wolves, and then the comeback against United was pretty special. But like you said, unfortunately, we fell a bit short in the penalty shootout. But again, we were happy with our run in the tournament, and hopefully we can replicate it next season.
Next will be Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Thank you, Michael. Hi, everybody. Haji, this one's for you. Greg spoke when he picked the roster about your ability to play on the left wing as well, potentially as a 9, and I wonder for you, as you approach this this moment, what you make of that, and how willing are you to do both? Thanks.
Yeah, for me, it's no problem. I've played primarily out on the wing for my club throughout the season. So, to me, it doesn't really make a difference if I'm playing up top or, slightly to the left, to the right. I feel comfortable wherever the coach feels comfortable putting me in. And I just want to, help the team and make a difference.
Next will be Paul Tenorio from The Athletic.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks, guys. Got another one for you, Haji. You've talked in the past about how close you were with Christian growing up in residency, spending time off the field together. He's coming off of probably his best season ever as a professional. I wonder your perspective as a friend of his, as a teammate, what you've seen of him this year, and how you think kind of being comfortable, confident, happy somewhere has impacted him, and kind of maybe if you could compare it to those early days where he was the dominant player for the 17s, just if you feel like there's kind of some semblance of getting back to just kind of being able to be happy somewhere playing soccer again. Thanks.
Yeah, since I've known Christian since we were small children, he's always been a very talented, very hungry player. And I mean, I think he's had some unfortunate injuries along his path, and he's been at some places where maybe he hasn't gotten the best look and wasn't really number one option. But I think everyone in this country knows how talented he is and how great of a player he is. And I think, we're really starting to see the best version of Christian now at AC Milan. This season really is just the tip of the iceberg. I think he'll go on to do even better things. I think now he's really finding his goal-scoring form. He's able to, affect the game by actually scoring and contributing in front of the goal. And that's something he always used to do when we were children. So, it doesn't really surprise me that now he's flourishing, so to say, because this is something I've seen him do throughout his whole life. And, I'm just really happy for him. As a friend, I think our relationship has been pretty much the same since the day I met him. So, I'm just really happy for him, happy to see him happy. And, when I call him and I talk to him over the phone, I can tell he's really enjoying where he is right now.
We'll go to Jason Anderson from Pro Soccer Wire.
Hi guys, thanks for speaking with us today. Brendan, I wanted to ask, obviously it's only been about not even 2 weeks since Union Berlin secured its place in the Bundesliga, but that does leave you at kind of maybe a crossroads, going back to Leeds or extending there or looking for a third party. I was wondering if you've had any time to consider that situation and what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, at this moment, I really enjoyed the end part of the season with Union, even though it was a bit of a relegation battle towards the end. But I got to play the last 10 games, and that was really great for my development and for me. And yeah, with everything else, I'm just kind of focusing on the national team and having my full responsibility here. I'm not thinking about anything else, and yeah, that's where my headspace is at.
Next will be Michele Giannone from Univision.
Thank you, Michael. Hi, guys. When asking Greg and some of the other players in the group, obviously, what's the purpose and what's the goal with Copa America? And the answer is always keep building, keep growing for 2026. This experience, these games are going to build to that. But taking all of that aside, what would be a good Copa America? What's the real objective on the field for you guys? What will be a good Copa America when everything is all and done?
Yeah, for us, this isn't the end-all, be-all for us. Again, our goal is the 2026 World Cup. And fortunately, yeah, just like everybody else has said, this is a building step for us to get there, to get on the pitch against high-profile teams and against teams that are of great quality, and to show ourselves against them and to measure our level against theirs, so that we can build as a group and have that experience when we come into the 2026 World Cup.
Next will be Henry Bushnell from Yahoo.
Thanks, Michael. Guys, appreciate both of your time. Haji, another question for you. Just going back to your first answer about playing wider than as opposed to in the center. I know you played there at times before in your career, but do you feel more comfortable now than there than a few years ago? And how did you, if so, like how did you gain that comfort level? What was kind of the key step there?
Yeah, just playing games and being in the position. I think you don't really gain comfort doing anything without actually doing it. So for me, it was just getting game experience and training experience in the position. And, when you play 50 games a season, you play, 40 out of the 50 as a wide attacker, you kind of get used to starting games there and finishing them there. And then, you just grow as a player.
Next is Ron Blum from the Associated Press.
Hi, for Brendan, it's 4.5 years since you first were with the national team. How has the play of the national team evolved, considering about half the team is the same block, people come in? Can you, when you're on the field, notice any difference in what's going on?
Yeah, for me personally, what I see from the group is I've been here for 4.5 years now. It doesn't feel like that, but it's just crazy how close everybody is with each other. There's not like groups, I would say. I think everybody's just gets along with each other. There's just banter, there's good times, there's things that we can do outside the pitch. And on the pitch, I think that we're just developing even more, of like a companionship on the pitch. We're linking up, we're becoming better and better with each other, and I think that's what you need, to have a solidified group and to keep growing. And I think that's what you're seeing on the pitch is now we're clicking even more than ever, and I think it's just going to continue to get better and better.
Next is Sanjay Sujan-Thakumar.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks, guys, for doing this. Brendan, question for you. When Serginho wasn't available in the Nations League final, you helped defend Davies, right, on that right side, and then he switched sides. Do you think in terms of your role, that's something we could see again? And how do you think in general as a center mid, things could be different for you guys without having Serginho? Just how that impacts your responsibilities. Thank you.
Yeah, in that game I was asked to play a little bit of a different role. Normally I'm farther up the pitch, and that's where I normally like to be, but I'm a player that will always play for the team, and in that game it was playing next to Joe and helping him with Alphonso Davies, because we scored like 2 early goals, and it was a little bit of a weird game after that where we kind of conceded possession of them for long periods of the game. So, yeah, I just remember just really defending him for most of the game, but it was good, and we ended up winning the game. And, I think for me, just at this moment, it's just, I've come in on the list as a winger, but everybody knows that I can play center mid, winger, and I like both positions, and that's something I'm going to continue to focus on is flourishing whatever I can do.
Next is Kyle Bond from the Sporting News.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks, guys. Haji, I just wanted to ask you, just a follow-up from a little bit earlier. You are far from the first person who has said, like, hey, we've got our eyes on the World Cup in 2 years. That's what's really, that's where our focus is. That's what we're looking to build towards. Can you kind of explain what you mean by that tangibly? Because I'm coming into the Copa America, how does that eventual goal translate into how you guys approach this tournament or just training each day?
Yeah, like I said, we want to gain experience from tournaments like these. It's not often that you get to play against high-quality competitions such as Brazil and Colombia and friendlies before they build up to the Copa. And then in the Copa, obviously, we have Uruguay and other many amazing teams that are in the tournament. So we just want to have that experience playing against big teams and, trying out different formations maybe and just the tactics that go into every game. It's not easy preparing for tournaments that are in the future, so we have this one here now, and we want to use it as a preparation tool for us.
Next is Sean McCaffrey.
Thanks everyone for taking their time out. Haji, we first saw you when you were with the New York Cosmos. Looking back now a few years, how do you regard your time there?
It was good. going there as a young guy, learning, trying to become a professional in Europe, trying to make a name for myself. I think it was good to be around the first team build-up and, just get used to it as a 15, 16-year-old. And I think, it helped me grow. I think, when you come to the first team, it's always difficult and it's always a little bit uncomfortable for young players. So having that experience before I moved to Schalke was definitely helpful for me.
Our last question for today comes from Andrew Jones.
Thanks, Michael. As always, first for you, Brendan, from that dramatic last day of the Bundesliga season with the assist that you gave to Benedict, and then seeing Yannick Haber score that goal after Kevin's penalty got saved. Talk about the emotions of that whole day and the celebrations afterwards. And for you, Haji, wanted to ask you just your whole thoughts in regards to not only the best messages that you may have received from Raheem Taylor this season, from anyone on IG or on just text in regards to your performances this season, and your new fatherhood as well with Tyler, and how that bond with you two in that new stage for you guys over there.
Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah, I mean, the end of the season was crazy. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people were paying attention to the table. I mean, my parents were telling me that the live updates were like every team was like going up and down in moments. It was crazy. And yeah, when I came off, it was 1-0, and so it was like I thought it was pretty comfortable in that moment. But then, of course, it's never comfortable. They come down and they score, and a lot of emotions came out of me. I don't know what I was probably saying to the ref. But yeah, and then after that, we scored the crazy, the guy saves the PK, comes right to the guy on our top of the box, and we score. So it was a crazy way to end the season, but it was an amazing way, and it felt really good. It felt like, yeah, just a whole weight off your shoulders, and it was a really good performance, and to top it off, it was awesome.